This is the GJRB Online Network.
Russen. Welcome to a brand new addition to the GJRB family and the GJRB family of Gary Russen programs. This is the Gary Russen program.
Saturday Extra. And good afternoon, everyone. I hope you'll stay with me this afternoon. Welcome to another edition of the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Coming up this afternoon, we'll talk about some of the interesting things that happened this week, including the major earthquake in California and a whole lot more interesting stuff coming up your way. So stay tuned. It's next. Saturday Extra. Yeah, we're going to be here. Hello, everyone. Hello, everywhere across America, and welcome to the Saturday Extra on GJRB Online. Here on Spreaker across America is our weekly Saturday program, kind of reviewing the events of the week that happened. A lot of interesting things that occurred this week. Kind of an interesting week indeed. We had so much going on, including some interesting stuff going on with the Trump campaign, different things like that. But the biggest thing was the 4th of July. How was your 4th of July holiday? Sure, for a lot of you out there who live in California, especially the southern part, didn't have that great of a 4th of July. On the 4th of July in the afternoon, I was watching Days of Our Lives, kind of relaxing a little bit. And suddenly the NBC broke in. I thought, oh, here we go. What happened now? You know, what deal's going on? And they said that it was a major earthquake in Southern California. Epicenter is where a radio station that I listen to from, a classic rock station, one of David Scott's affiliates, actually, has a station there, and they had a major earthquake registering 6.4 on the Richter scale. Did a lot of damage, and kind of rattled it a little bit. I don't know how far away that is from the Los Angeles area, but Los Angeles felt it pretty much. And the town's Walmart, let me see if that way. I keep forgetting what the name of that town is now, but we'll find it as we go through the stories. Because again, yesterday morning, there was another aftershock in that same area along the Mojave Desert, pretty close to the town, and they're warning that there are more earthquakes to come. And this is in the high desert. The epicenter was in the high desert, and lot of damage there, a lot of heavy damage. And we're going to pray for those people. They're saying that more earthquakes are possible in that area, especially after that, because, again, Friday night, last night around 8:20 p.m. Pacific time, 10:20 Central Daylight, 11:20 Eastern, they had another one registering 7.1 on the Richter scale rattled some more of that area. Not only that, we had another earthquake registering up in British Columbia, up around the area where one of our fabulous podcasters and has that national radio show called Spaced Out Radio, SOR. David Scott, I hope you're okay up there. Pretty, I don't know, I'd say it wasn't as strong as the one in California, but it was pretty close. And that registered, I think it was a little bit of a weaker one. What was that, 4 points, I think, something like that. Anyway, here we are. There's more aftershocks. But the quake that happened last night in that town, like, you know, things as I can't remember anything sometimes. But it was around that same area though where they had the last quake, and Southern California is kind of on edge. A lot of people on edge there. And now I just saw this before I went on the air. China had a 5.0 which struck off the coast of China, and I guess it's evening there. And they had one 5.0, and then they're saying that a volcano in Italy, the Stromboli volcano, has stopped erupting for now, but experts are fearing the worst yet to come there, as volcanologists warning that there's going to be a risk for a devastating tsunami there in Italy. So a lot of stuff going, there's some things going on here. And we'll be talking about that this afternoon, you know. I believe God's sending his warning that, you know, well, again, a lot of things, it's what they call birth pains. I've heard that one. I've heard a lot of things going on with Mother Earth. And we're going to talk about that this afternoon, plus a lot of other things. I hope you'll stay with me this afternoon. Beautiful sunny day here in Clinton, Iowa. We have a great sunshiny day. Temperature 80 degrees last check. We'll take a look at that weather forecast. We'll have a national look at our weather forecast, the local Clinton forecast coming up toward the end of the show. And you can join me here in the chat room. As a matter of fact, I should really put up my... I don't need that now. I should really put up my Skype here. That's what I was meant to say. So I need to go into my desktop and pull up my Skype here. So get that ready, because you can get a hold of me on Skype. It's Gary.Russen on Skype. If you are a Facebook friend, follower, you can contact me by calling me on the Facebook Messenger. It's by going into the Messenger and hitting that call button. Next hour, possibility we could get Ben Oceman on. I talked to him before airtime today, and he has to go to another graduation ceremony. So that's where he's at now. Possibility whether or not he's going to join us remains to be announced. It happens when it happens, because he has some event going on there. He's got some things happening, family event, whatever the case, friend. So he's at a graduation. So a possibility he could join us later on. It depends on a lot of things. So I got some backup. I'll be playing a video which I was listening to yesterday by Rick Scapara, who is the head of the End Time Headlines, which I get a lot of my news from here, talking about the California earthquakes. And the fact that there's some major warnings down there for volcano activity as well. Especially concerning is the Cordero at the Yellowstone National Park. That one, I believe, is the one that we should be concerned about. And we have the Black Dragon Radio Network on our... Hi, how you doing? Black Dragons Radio is with us. BJ, thank you for joining us. How you doing? Good to see you today. I was just opening up the show talking about the earthquake in California, the Southern California quake. I hate to be down there now. Good grief. And they're saying that there's more to come. They're saying that they'll be having seismic activity for, it could last a month, it could last a year. Major quake, 7.1 yesterday. Doing wonderfully, playing my Guitar Wars 2 game right as I heard about that. So there's a lot of concern there for exactly what's going on. And we'll be talking about that throughout the afternoon here on GJRB Online. Also got a possibility of a friend coming in at the second hour. And Guild Wars, GUILD. Tell me what that is. I don't play very much in video. Is that a video game? Because I'm not too much on video games, so I don't know all that much about them. But I know there's some stuff out there. Thank you for joining me today, and have a good time enjoying that game and listening to the program. And right now, we're going to take a look at the news and see what's up in the world of news today. Some big happenings. So let's take a look. First top in our news, this one I ran into before I started today. And my sister Darcy sent this, and it's like, oh my gosh, another terrible one. There was a major explosion at the Plantation, Florida, at a shopping center there, leaving 20 people injured. And this is a terrible explosion. Ruptured gas lines were found in the rubble, but they're saying that, confirming that if this was an explosion, this could have been confirmed if this explosion was caused by a gas leak. These details and more coming up as we give you a roundup of news.
Aftershocks on top of aftershocks in Southern California after a 6.4 magnitude quake rocked the 4th of July. ABC's Alex Stone is in Ridgecrest, about 2.5 hours north of Los Angeles.
All night long, the ground has been shaking here. Every few minutes, you feel a bump on the floor and things swing back and forth. This is pretty normal after a big quake, and seismologists at Caltech say this is going to continue for a couple of days.
Oh my God! Officials on the scene of an explosion near two dorms at the University of Nevada, Reno campus. It's being labeled as a utilities accident. So far, only minor injuries reported. Now that the Trump administration has told a federal court it may try again to include a citizenship question in the 2020 census, a judge has ruled that lawsuits opposing that question may proceed. Plaintiffs in Maryland moving forward now with a legal challenge saying that question would discriminate against Hispanics.
We can start the printing now and maybe do an addendum after we get a positive decision. So we're working on a lot of things, including an executive order.
The helicopter crashed about 2 miles out from the Bahamas on its way to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. All 7 Americans aboard were killed. One of those killed was coal industry billionaire Chris Klein.
At Wimbledon today, a huge comeback win for 15-year-old Coco Gauff.
It's on! And the fairy tale first Wimbledon continues.
The American phenom won her third-round game against Polona Herzog in 3 sets after losing the first. She now moves on to the round of 16.
Next up is last year's French Open champion, but anything now seems possible for Coco Gauff.
U.S. jobs rebounded last month. 224,000 created, well above the 160,000 analysts expected.
Economists had been expecting around 150,000. The unemployment rate rising a bit to 3.7%. It had been 3.6%.
Those were really unexpectedly good, and our country continues to do really well, really well.
New developments in the murder of a Utah college student. Police today saying they recovered Mackenzie Lewick's remains in a canyon. Officials say they hope the discovery will bring closure to her family. Lewick had been missing in the Salt Lake City area for nearly 2 weeks before police arrested her suspected killer last week.
Up to 5,000 motorcyclists will ride into New Hampshire tomorrow to honor 7 bikers killed in a collision with a pickup truck last month.
The Nantucket busboy accusing actor Kevin Spacey of groping has dropped his civil lawsuit against the actor. The accuser and his attorney giving no reason for the move. Spacey's defense team says there may be evidence on the accuser's cell phone that could exonerate the actor and that it hasn't been turned over yet. The criminal case against Spacey expected to continue with the hearing scheduled for Monday. Spacey denies the allegations.
Big severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of the Rockies and Plains. It stretches from Rapid City, South Dakota, all the way down to Dodge City, Kansas, and also includes Denver and Cheyenne. So we're going to be looking out for some strong winds, possible some large hail, maybe an isolated tornado there. And it's all part of the system that's going to finally move east along the cold front. Some severe weather could break out across parts of the Northeast, the I-95 corridor Saturday afternoon, evening from D.C. up to New York. North of Boston can see some severe weather Saturday afternoon and evening as well. And the summer heat continues. You'll see these heat indices over 100 degrees for parts of the Mid-South, from Houston to Mobile, 106.
Wow.
Up through Memphis, it feels like 103 on Saturday. An excessive heat warning remains in effect through Saturday for Philadelphia, where it will feel in the upper 90s and close to 100 degrees.
And there you go, some of the latest news from ABC here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker, on the Gary Russen Saturday Extra. And we have the Black Dragons Radio on with us, so it's great having him aboard as we continue the program. We got a great show this afternoon, and we got interesting stories, but devastating explosion in Florida. Ruptured gas lines found in the rubble, but they're not seeing whether that was the cause of it. The original origin of the blast, which went off about 11:30 a.m. local time, was also not known. 13 people have gone into the Westside Regional Medical Center emergency room hospital, according to ABC News officials. There were no facilities and no reports of critical injuries, no fatalities. No reports of any critical injuries, and this could have been a lot worse, according to what one guy said named Gordon. Guillermo Villa was across the street from where this was in his Tesla SUV when he heard the explosion. He said he saw a light in a cloud of debris and started seeing pieces of building falling on his head. He went underneath his car, and so much debris flying, he told ABC News. And they saw people running and shouting. 1 dead, 17 injured in a fiery explosion, and that will be I was in Durham, North Carolina. Wow. That is, what a oh, brother. They're going to be investigating this. A witness of the ABC News affiliate told ABC affiliate Miami WPLG that large flash of light lit up the whole sky, and it was very loud and surpassed fireworks even, leaving his ears ringing, and it looked like the apocalypse after it was done. Businesses in the area are now shut down until fire crews say it's safe to return, according to the Plantation Police Department. So, wow, that is a holy mess there. Big explosion in Plantation, Florida, at a shopping center. We'll be talking about that this afternoon. We're doing we'll do a little bit of news and commentary this afternoon here on GJRB Online. We got some more interesting stories coming up, including Facebook. Now, this is interesting. Somebody has a grievance with them. A mail sorting machine flagged a package containing what is nerve gas agent, sarin, and a deadly man-made chemical agent containing no odor or color in the Los Angeles, according to the Los Angeles Times on Monday. Facebook mail facility in Menlo Park, California was evacuated after an item tested positive for his nerve agent. No employees were exposed, and more testing has to be done. The routine test revealed that the chemicals at the facility, Menlo Park Fire Department John Johnston told CNN that no employees were exposed to this chemical, and the place was completely evacuated. Fire chief there said that the open air test yielded negative results for sarin. according to the LA Times, sometimes these machines make mistakes, and it's the standard package handling call they're dealing with. The FBI and the National Guard responded to the scene for further investigation. So, they're going to probably find out exactly what that was that they detected. But if it was no sarin gas, what was it? And I wonder if a mistake like that, that's pretty serious when you're dealing with a major mistake like that. You're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online, and we have someone in there. Black Dragons Radio, BJ is with us. Thank you for being with us. Absolutely fabulous when we have someone in the chat room this afternoon, and making it more of an interesting program, and making it so that we get a little bit of interaction. And let's take a look now at let's see what's going on in the weather in the news. And interesting weather in the news. Gotta tell you this one, especially if people who are in Alaska. Check this out. Did you see this? Alaska is just as hot as we are. As a matter of fact, just as hot as we are. BJ, what's it down there for you? Because you're down near Houston. You're pretty close. You must be under excruciating heat. And I can imagine down there over by, because it's like around you're past the century mark, I imagine. Because I know that it's been hot down there for you guys anyway, most recently, because especially talking with John, the OBFSU, as I know he has been out doing work in the hot sun, and it's been terrible. And it's just as hot down there in that area. So we're going to check that. Let's see, where is that? I got to go to my Facebook page and pull that up under my saved, so I got to go back down into my Facebook and then pull that story up. Okay, that would be under saved weather in the news. So I'm going to go down there and pull that up, because I got to come more interesting stories about earthquakes. One that they said shake Yellowstone supervolcano 1.5 miles. We're going to talk about that coming up. Let's see. Let's go down to, I'm going to go where that is. I think I have it under weather news, so I'm going to go down to weather news. Either weather in the news or weather news. I'll find it here. That was last week's microburst in Pennsylvania. So let's see. I have 2 weather news items on here. I got like 2, because I couldn't find one, and I made a new one. And unfortunately, the new one, so I have 2 weather news thing. Weather in the news and weather news. So I'm going to have to look for that particular news story. But it's basically saying that Alaska has been just as hot as we have been. And I'm kind of seeing if maybe I can find it now. I got weather in the news and weather news. So if I find weather in the news, let me see if I can pull that down. I need to drag the page down. Let's see here. Weather in the news. Should get rid of one so I won't get confused. I think that would make more sense, right? Yeah, I would. Talking to myself again. It happens. You're developing here now. I'm going to see if it's up here. It's further up the page. No, we got 2019 hurricane season. We'll talk about that. 18 tornadoes in 4 states. That's old, I think. That goes way back. So where is it? Go back to weather news. I'm sure it's here somewhere. See. And I know I saved it. So it's got to be here somewhere. The microburst story's in here. Alaska story. That's what I'm looking for. So if I can't find it, I know what it is. There was, let's see if it's in the news part, and I thought I had sent it in there. More than likely, it's probably not there. Oh, here it is. Had the wrong page. Here we go. Anchorage, Alaska, July 4th. And I was watching the, okay, let me see. July 4th, here we go. Shattering all-time record. And looking at the Alaska, Russia, and all that heat, the Gulf of Alaska, the Alaska's heat wave continues there during the Independence Day, the 4th of July. And Anchorage, the temperature shattered all-time record at the airport, hit 90 degrees, besting June 14th. And this has been, I think the last time they're saying it beat a June 14th, 1969 highest mark record for the highest mark ever reached in that state, according to the National Weather Service. Across the state of Alaska, mercury is expected to rise a record of near record levels in the nation's 243rd birthday and continue above average for the next week. So we're talking about some interesting weather there. Alaska doesn't really get that hot, and you're talking about a state, the Antarctic, and this proves once again, about the polar ice caps, So I don't know. You have to wonder now about this whole thing, this whole theory about global warming anyway. Anyway, let's take a look at our weather on the 5s here on GJRB Online. And there is a slight risk of severe thunderstorms today across pretty much the high plains and northeast regions. The main threat, though, for severe weather and thunderstorms and damaging winds and hail, and a few tornadoes are possible in the high plains. And additional heavy rain and thunderstorms may also bring in some flash flooding. And some of those, and like you heard earlier on that one news brief, these storms could head up toward Pennsylvania. And I was just looking at a posting saying that Pittsburgh area is in for some severe weather. And a few other areas are going to get some severe weather. So we're going to be, I'll be looking at that weather coming up again. Weather on the 5s, 25 and 55 minutes past the hour, and we'll check in with Weather Nation and see where some of the severe weather is next hour here on GJRB Online. Gary J. Russen with you. Hope you're enjoying the program, the Gary Russen Program Saturday Extra, and I'm hoping that you'll stay with me throughout the afternoon for some great internet talk radio, and we're kind of visiting some of the sites and some of the news items that we've got coming up. And we're going to talk about some of the plans I got coming up here on GJRB Online, including the posting I had earlier about our GJRB Schedule Update podcast. The video to that I'm working on right now. I haven't I've been busy on that one because it needs work. Because I'm trying to figure out the editor on that blasted YouTube, and how that works, because the editor is kind of tough to figure out. I've been kind of playing around with it, and it just takes a lot of work to try to figure that thing out. So I'm just, Anyway, glad you could be with me. Gary J. Russen with you, the Saturday Extra here on Spreaker, across America and around the world, wherever you're listening. Hope you're enjoying the program. Coming up, we'll do our scroll through social media, and have a lot of other neat things that we're going to do. So keep it here on GJRB Online. The Gary Russen Program Saturday Extra continues in just a moment on the GJRB Online Network. Be right back. Caramel Conservative, Ed Delgado. Live Tuesday nights at 8:30 on Spreaker FM 88.9. And I'm back as we continue the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra on GJRB Online. Thank you for joining me. We got a great afternoon here on Spreaker. Got a lot of great listeners, and one of them is our BJ, the Black Dragons Radio, is with us from down in Port, Texas. He's glad to be with us today. And we have some more great people on out there somewhere. I know they're there, and we'll visit them along the way too. Got a lot of good stuff coming up in the news. We're going to continue talking about the news and some other things going on. Man, you see there's a video, and I believe it was on I think it was it was I think on one of the my Facebook pages, and it shows again a group of the bleeding heart sick in the head liberals who decided they want to burn a flag just outside, and I saw this, burn the flag just outside the White House on the 4th of July. They were burning a flag right out there, outside. Isn't that something? They have the nerve and audacity to do this on a holiday celebrating our country. And it really is pitiful when you have a group of America haters doing something to our flag on the 4th of July. A day when you celebrate the birth of this country. And, of course, coming up a little later on, every time I hear of people burning the flag, I get kind of irritated. I get sick and tired of these America haters. If they hate it so bad, they can take their flag, or they can take themselves, and they can walk out of this country that easy. And the flag to them represents racism. It represents all kinds of negative vibes. That's how badly they hate this country, that they want to burn the flag because they feel that this country is a racist, bigoted, low-down country. They think that we are represent, racism. And it's because, according to them, it's because of the President of the United States. It's a lot of things, really. And it really aggravates me. So coming up after the break, top of the hour, we're going to play that song. Yes, that song I like, by Merle Haggard. I miss Merle Haggard. He was a fabulous singer, and he really puts his point across with this song. And I like to play it because it's just my little rebellious attitude towards these people who, these sick communist liberal fanatics who hate this country so bad that they have to destroy the very thing, the flag. And then we have, I haven't forgotten that one. The Colin Kaepernick thing. Really. Now it's where he was not happy with Nike because they put out these shoes that are colored in the American flag. And I'd love to get a pair of those shoes just to. Hey, how about this? Go and walk around with these pair of shoes, right? And into the local Walmart, with these shoes on and the mega hat. Oh yeah, oh man, talk about that would be just absolutely superb. I just think about that one. I'm gonna have to bring that one to crime. I hope that hope Ed Delgado comes across us this afternoon, because that's an idea. I just wonder, because I know that Mike Myers, the Radio Hope Network, he was wanting to walk into a Walmart with a MAGA hat on. And I wonder if he did it. Kind of leery about it, though, because of the fact that, I don't know if I feel like, getting punched to the ground. Do you? I just don't think so. But, what do you think of that? Anyway, we'll talk about that this afternoon. We got a lot of things on our mind, so I hope you'll join me, and I'm hoping that maybe perhaps we'll hear from Ben this afternoon. Going to check with him after the top of the hour and see if he is available to be on the air with us today, because I would love to talk to Ben about that. That would be really fabulous, because there's so much that that needs to be discussed over this. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. Meanwhile, let's we're going to pop in and let's bring that back up and do some celeb birthdays here. So I'm done with the thunderstorm for now, so I'm going to go in there. See, I got an effects button, and I can change it at will. So I'm going to go into the envelope and pull out the happy birthday theme. So I'm going to go and pull that up and get that ready, because we're going to do our celebrity birthdays. We need to do that. Okay, let's see here. P. Okay, birthdays. Happy birthday. Here we go. Nobody in the Spreaker community right now celebrating a birthday, but we did have some birthdays yesterday that we'll pass along to you. A couple of really good friends having birthdays yesterday. My friend Raymond Leach, his wife Janet, had a birthday yesterday, so a big happy birthday goes out to her, belated on the air. Happy birthday to you, as well as a few others that have birthdays. So, if you have a birthday and it falls on when we're on the air, I will announce the birthdays here on Spreaker, and I will give you your birthday and the celebrities celebrating birthdays with you. All you have to do is send me an email at GaryJ65@yahoo.com, GaryJ021361@gmail.com, or if you are in my Spreaker public site, just leave me your birthday in the chat room here on Spreaker, and I will announce it on the air. Okay? Meanwhile, let's take a look at some of the famous birthdays. People celebrating birthdays. Sylvester Stallone. Yeah. First of all, before we do that, Burt Ward, who played Robin on Batman, he is 74 today. Wow. And fun fact, he was Robin was his part playing Robin on Batman was his first television casting. Wow. Also, Sylvester Stallone celebrating a birthday. He turned 73. He was nominated for 3 Oscars in his career. Then we have Jeffrey Rush. He turned 68. He's an Australian television star who started in a TV show called McNulty, which I never really watched. Then we have rapper 50 Cent. He turns 44. And then the 2 girls who played on the TV sitcom Sister celebrating their birthday today, Tia and Tamara Moray, 41. Both sisters were the characters of on that show. I also played Denise on an episode of Full House, too. Celebrating 41st birthday today. So happy birthday to them. Kevin Hart turns 40. He was nominated for Best Comedy Album. And actress Eva Green turns 39. She's a mother and a former French actress. And Kate Nash turns 32. She portrayed Rhonda Richardson on the Netflix series Glow. Other celebrities celebrating birthdays: Ned Beatty is 82. Singer Gene Chandler, famous for the hit record Duke of Earl, he's 79. Country singer Jeannie Seeley's 79. Actor Fred Dreyer, who was in the TV series Hunter, 73. Shelley Hack, 72. There's a lot of big stars celebrating birthdays. Natalie Bry, 71. Actress Alice Beasley, 68. And rock musician John Baez of the Blasters, 67. See if we have anybody else that will kind of end it here. Let's see. Actor Pip Terrans is 59. And let's see. I'm going to go with one more. Gregory Smith. I used to know Gregory Smith in school. Well, anyway, he's 36. And Woody Wood... what are you talking about? Jerry Cerez, 29. So some of the famous birthdays today as we do our birthdays. And we lost a really funny guy this past week. Artie Johnson, who was well known on the TV show Laugh-In. One of my favorite characters, he used to, Very interesting. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of keep that in there for a while for something, might come up with something, but you never know. Anyway, Artie Johnson, fabulous comedian, fabulous actor. Jeez, all these big stars, all the good ones are gone. It's like, gee whiz. Let's see. Artie Johnson died at the age of 90, so he had a pretty good life. And he played a lot of stuff. He not only played in shows like that, but he also played in acting parts in various movies and TV shows in the 70s. But he was one of the best. As a matter of fact, I even played, and I'll play a clip from that. He played on an episode of Night Gallery as a disc jockey in an episode called The Flip Side of Satan. Where he goes into this, he works for this radio station, is a disc jockey, he comes in, a radio station has a license, was broadcasting all night. It was an all-night radio station, didn't broadcast during the day, which is kind of bizarre because I've never heard of such a thing. And he comes in and does the radio shit, but everything goes wrong, the turntables go backwards, and the station is possessed by demons. Pretty good episode. You're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. And, of course, I would bring you the best in internet radio here on Spreaker. And I'm glad you could be with me today. Saturday Extra, we're heading into the second hour of our program. And usually what I do is I flip over and do a local break and then come back on the other side and continue. I got a lot of really good stuff to talk about on this program, so I know you're going to want to check it out. And thank you for tuning in to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. And let's see what we got coming up next hour. Maybe Ben, I'm going to check on him at the top of the hour and see if he can be on the program. Otherwise, we're going to talk about the earthquakes in Southern California and some concerns over the possibility that there's seismic activity around that Cordero at the, that's coming up. All that and more coming up as we continue the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for joining me today, and I hope you're enjoying the program. I love doing this program and talking to you out there on a Saturday afternoon. And coming up this next half hour, along with that, we'll have another Weather on the Fives, all coming your way. Let's continue. It's Saturday afternoon in Clinton, Iowa, and this is the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, high atop the Lion Shopping District on Clinton's North End. We'll continue in just a moment here on the GJRB Online Network.